Police in Cambodia hunt for a motive behind the killing of 3 Taiwanese citizens in Phnom Penh. Taiwan's stock market gets a serious case of the jitters after the US Federal Reserve warns of another rate hike. Why the country may soon be struggling to survive as it transitions into a super-age society. And conservationists battle it out to save a bat colony on the outskirts of New Taipei City. A warm welcome to TaiwanPlus News. I'm Yin Khvat. Police in Cambodia are trying to figure out the motive behind the killing of 3 Taiwanese citizens in the capital, Phnom Penh. It's believed the men all had criminal records, but police do not think they were linked to a recent people trafficking case. Bing Wang reports.
These blurred photos from Cambodian police allegedly show 3 Taiwanese men shot and killed in an apartment building in Phnom Penh on Sunday. Police in Cambodia and in Taiwan are working to find the motive of the killings. In the past few weeks, many Taiwanese were arrested across Cambodia, Thailand, and Myanmar, suspected of running human trafficking operations where thousands were tricked into Southeast Asia with promises of high-paying jobs. Police in the southern Taiwanese city of Tainan are convinced the 3 men killed in Cambodia on Sunday were not connected to the human trafficking case, and they are still investigating potential motives. All 3 men have prior criminal records.
家属表示不清楚到柬埔寨做的工作内容。经查，这2名男子在本辖并没有案件，目前也没有通缉。那我们依规定来受理报案。
The police captain also said they were working closely with Taiwan's Ministry of Foreign Affairs on how to proceed.
住处也会持续跟柬埔寨的政府有关单位保持密切的协调跟联系，掌握案情的发展。
Taiwan's foreign ministry says it will aid the victims' families. The ministry also issued a red travel alert for those visiting Cambodia, citing rampant crime and fraud. They have advised Taiwanese citizens not to travel to the Southeast Asian country. Chris Ma and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
Taipei's stock exchange recovered slightly on Tuesday after a dramatic nosedive at the beginning of the week. The fall came after US Federal Reserve Chief Jerome Powell warned that stubborn inflation could mean more interest rate hikes soon. James Chater reports.
This sea of green shows Taipei stocks. Here, the colour, unlike much of the world, indicates a drop in price. The sudden fall in Taipei's shares comes after fresh warnings of impending US interest rate hikes. The TAIEX, the index for Taipei Stock Exchange, fell more than 400 points on Monday morning before staging a small comeback over the trading day. The fall has stoked concerns Taiwan's finance ministry may need to step in to stabilise the market, just a month after the ministry's last intervention.
或许可能会引发整个市场的一个恐慌再升级，国安基金其实是不排除有再次进场的一个可能。
At a recent meeting of international central bank chiefs, with energy and food prices soaring, the head of the US Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, defended looming US rate hikes.
These are the unfortunate costs of reducing inflation. But a failure to restore price stability would mean far greater pain.
While higher US interest rates may eventually ease price pressure for Americans, it can spell trouble for other parts of the world. Higher rates make the US a more attractive destination for investors, and that's led to tens of billions of US dollars flowing out of Taiwan's capital markets this year. But analysts say, with global economic uncertainty still high, even coming US rate hikes could do little to tame inflation.
Whether it's the war in Ukraine, whether it's China's COVID situation, there's too many factors that could keep inflation much higher than I think most people are anticipating.
Inflation remains front and centre of policymakers' minds around the world. And while Taiwan's prices aren't rising as fast as other countries, the dramatic drop in Taipei stocks is evidence that no economy is truly an island. Damon Lin and James Chater for TaiwanPlus in Taipei.
Taiwan on Tuesday recorded over 31,000 cases of COVID-19. This overall number marks a 15% increase over the past week. Experts say spread of the new Omicron subvariants BA4 and BA5 is responsible for the latest wave. With families and friends expected to get together over the upcoming Mid-Autumn Festival, the government is recommending that children and older adults who have not been vaccinated avoid large-scale gatherings. Taiwan's low birth rate and high life expectancy are putting a strain on government programs. This means those headed towards retirement may soon find themselves with only their savings to support them. John Van Trieste has more.
In 2025, Taiwan will reach a tipping point. 20% of its population will be 65 or older. That's retirement age. With so few people paying taxes, how will Taiwan's government retirement programs stave off bankruptcy? 3 face a particular shortage of funds: labor insurance, national health insurance, and the so-called long-term 2.0 plan designed to support senior citizens and people with disabilities. Losses could start to mount before the decade is out. Labor insurance, for instance, will start losing money as soon as 2028.
有47% 的人认为退休金在破产前不会进行改革，不会进行改革，他就会轻忽未来这个退休金财源不够的问题哦。
And inflation means whatever retirees have saved will be worth less.
担心了老了啊，现在少子化，钱不好赚啊，老了就会生病啊，老人家会生病啊，生病一定要钱啊，对不对？
It's estimated that if a person lives to 85, they'll need around $400,000 US to meet their needs. And with the average monthly salary at around $1,400 US and a rising cost of living, for many, retirement may simply not be an option.
Taiwan's military has made public a 4-step process it uses to expel incursions by Chinese drones. It consists of firing warning flares, reporting the incursion, and ultimately shooting the drone down. It's the first time that the military has revealed such detailed information about one of its defense measures, and follows public criticism that the country wasn't doing enough to counter civilian drones. The military has reported more than 20 drone incursions near Jinmen since a high-level visit by a US official earlier this month. The Biden administration plans to ask Congress to approve a $1.1 billion arms sale to Taiwan. That's according to US-based media outlet Politico. According to Politico's sources, the latest proposed package includes 100 Sidewinder air-to-air missiles to arm Taiwan's F-16 fighters, as well as 60 Harpoon anti-ship missiles. A surveillance radar contract extension is the most expensive item in the package at over $650 million US. China carried out its largest military exercises around Taiwan this month, following a visit by US House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Beijing has not ruled out force to bring Taiwan under its control. Campaigning for the top job in Taiwan's northern city of Taoyuan is underway. The current mayor from the ruling Democratic Progressive Party is unable to stand because he's already served 2 terms. But the DPP is facing challenges holding on to power there, as Louise Watt reports.
Taiwan's ruling Democratic Progressive Party is pinning its hopes on this man for mayor in Taoyuan, the country's largest city in terms of industrial output. The current DPP mayor has held power here for the maximum 2 terms, so the party has nominated Zheng Yunpeng as its candidate. He says he expects all the party's candidates in the city to triumph in November's elections.
运转桃园，
大进化。我们选择整个桃园队，在登记的第1天就来到选委会，不管是议员也好，区长也好，我们通通会全垒打。
But the DPP faces a challenge in holding on to the northern city of Taoyuan, home to more than 2 million people, Taiwan's main international airport, and many electronics manufacturers. Zheng is the second candidate the DPP has named. The first withdrew earlier this month after he was embroiled in a plagiarism scandal. A former legislator in the party, Zheng Baoqing, was unhappy about the way that scandal was handled. So he has thrown his hat in the ring for Taoyuan Mayor too. as an independent. They'll be facing Simon Zhang, a former premier and the candidate of the main opposition party, the Kuomintang, or KMT, and Lai Xiangling of the smaller Taiwan People's Party. The KMT is fighting to recover Taoyuan, a former stronghold, as well as win the capital, Taipei.
我们一席都不放弃，桃园我们就是稳定的、稳扎稳打，一步一脚印。
Taoyuan is just one of the areas that the ruling party will be looking to hold on to in November's elections. Held every 4 years, they're about local issues, but they're also seen as a verdict on the national government's record. Ricky and Louise Watt for TaiwanPlus.
The mayoral candidate for Taiwan's main opposition, Kuomintang or KMT, in Taoyuan has become the latest candidate to face accusations of plagiarism. According to a story in Taiwan's Mirror Media, a report funded by the Council of Agriculture that was overseen by Simon Chang appears to contain passages that were copied from multiple English and Chinese sources. It is not clear to what extent Chang was responsible for writing the report. Earlier this month, an allegation of plagiarism led to the withdrawal of the Democratic Progressive Party candidate from the same race. Lin Zhijian was found to have plagiarized both his master's degree theses. Zhang says this case is different.
跟论文写作的这个性质是完全不一样啊！这些对国家农业电子化的发展有注意的事情，却被抹黑成为抄袭不抄袭的问题，我觉得非常遗憾。
The southern cities of Tainan and Kaohsiung have appeared for the first time in the Michelin Guide to Fine Dining in Taiwan. In its latest edition, the Foodie Bible gave just one restaurant the highest accolade of 3 stars, Taipei's Le Palais, which serves Cantonese-style cuisine. In total, 38 restaurants earned stars for their food and service. The publication said this year's list reflects the strength and vitality of Taiwan's food scene as restaurants grappled with another year of challenges linked to the coronavirus pandemic. Coming up after the break, we meet a Taiwanese yo-yo star with a penchant for breaking records.
Thank you for watching Taiwan Plus. For more great news from Taiwan and around the world, download the Taiwan Plus app.
This is 我们台湾人要送给台湾的礼物。
我们都清楚，我们都在一起，在完成一件事情。
这是我们的根。
Thanks for watching Taiwan Plus. For more great stories from Taiwan and around the world, download the Taiwan Plus app.
In a changing world, when voices are being silenced, TaiwanPlus is listening. We tell those stories. No compromise, no boundaries,
people in Taiwan.
no fear.
I want to study Chinese.
I'm Ryan Kilpatrick.
Capital Taipei. TaiwanPlus.
TaiwanPlus News.
Welcome back. You're watching TaiwanPlus News. President Tsai has thanked the visiting Guatemalan foreign minister for making Taiwan his first stop in Asia since taking office. Mario Bucaro says he is in Taipei as a show of commitment to Taiwan amid increased tensions across the Taiwan Strait. At the meeting in the presidential office in Taipei, she praised close cooperation between the two countries. Guatemala is one of Taiwan's 14 remaining diplomatic allies. Bucaro said the two allies have shared values.
Me congratulo de ser portador de un mensaje de solidaridad y amistad como miembros de esta alianza democrática con determinación y claramente constituidos como aliados, como países like-minded en un mundo que se encuentra en este momento convulsionado.
28 people have been charged over a violent attack on women in China that captured the world's attention. A group of men attacked 4 women at a restaurant in Tangshan, a part of northern Hebei province, in June after they rejected the men's apparent advances. Video of the attack went viral and triggered widespread debate about misogyny and violence against women in China. Charges brought against the 28 include operating casinos, robbery, cybercrime and picking quarrels and provoking trouble. In addition to these charges, 15 local officials, including the head of the city's Public Security Bureau, are also under investigation for corruption and abuse of power. A Singaporean entrepreneur taking over Taiwan's Apple Daily News site has spoken to the press for the first time about his plans for the company. Joseph Hua confirmed speculation that Apple Daily Taiwan employees will sign new contracts with his own recently established firm, which will be acquiring the site's assets from its previous owners. Hong Kong-based Next Digital, the firm Longcheng Creative, will continue publishing under a new name. Next Apple News, Hua says 96% of Apple Daily Taiwan's employees have agreed to sign on with the new company. He told reporters that he acquired Apple Daily Taiwan through Hong Kong businessman Kenny Wee, and he has never directly contacted Next Digital or Apple Daily News in Taiwan about related transactions.
我唯一的交易对象是黄浩先生跟他100%拥有的公司。我从未跟港平或台平有任何的交易关系。
Bats may not seem like the cuddliest of creatures, but they are an important part of the ecosystem. One bat colony in northern Taiwan is under threat not only from human development around their habitat, but also from passing traffic. Eric Gao takes a look.
You wouldn't think that bats, of all animals, would be prone to being hit by cars. But that is unfortunately the case for one bat colony on the outskirts of New Taipei. Their Batcave leads right out to a busy highway.
110年开始，我们就针对这个蝙蝠洞的前后路段的上下游去设置速限可变标志牌。在这个傍晚的时间，我们就会把我们的速度从60降到40。
This isn't the only problems the bats face. The land right outside their cave entrance is privately owned. The landowner wants to develop the property, including adding a building right outside the cave entrance. This had conservationists worried.
蝙蝠洞这边是当地的一个蛮重要的资产业，所以我们就希望说他们要将他们资产室的位置尽量的在它的范围内去做一个移设，不要去影响到蝙蝠的一个出入。
The landowner agreed, and the building has been relocated. But there is still another concern: the timing of the construction. It's currently set to take place during the peak of the bat's breeding season.
所以如果说是真的有要施作的话，可以避开大概可能4月到9月这段时间。 蝙蝠真的做这边的时候，先不要施工。
Conservationists are working with the landowner, trying to find a compromise so bat and man can live together in harmony. Klein Wong and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus.
Yang Yuanqing is a yo-yo ace who has set 2 world records with his skills, but personal struggles threatened to get his life in a tangle. This is his story.
小时候很讨厌我爸爸，可是当今天那个护士把那个产房的门打开，然后小朋友这样抱在我手上的那一刻，我瞬间明白，为什么我年轻的时候爸爸那么担心我。我出生在南部的一个传统家庭，那我的爸爸妈妈、我阿嬷都希望我以后可以当医生。直到国小2年级遇到溜球之后，每天花8个小时来练习溜球，改变了我的一生。那时候最疯狂的事情就是把一部分的营养午餐钱放进口袋，就为了要坐车到台北。当时之后，台北有一群玩家，他们有固定的聚会，那就是我学习的地方。周末我就只能到现场买站票，然后一路站到台北。我在家里面，我就会逼自己，好，我不管怎样，我一个招式一定要先成功100次，我才能够把它放进我比赛的招式里面。那为了要更稳定，我后来会练到更走火入魔，就是我这100次是要连续成功才算，他没有连续成功，那就是重来。第一个真正的冠军是在17岁的时候拿到台湾溜球大赛冠军。其实上台前我手还是流血的，我记得我下台的时候，我的绳子是红色的。当时呢，我爸爸就觉得说，好，我已经跟医科无缘了。如果呢，你能够选一个国立的艺术大学，家里面学杂费负担也不会那么多。我就这样子来到台北，然后念台湾艺术大学的戏剧系。来到台北之后，我当然考了台北市的街头艺人证照。我把整条街道当作是我的教室，我把每一个观众当作是我的老师，然后也开始观摩其他那些比我更会表演的街头艺人，然后从他们身上得到养分，慢慢长出自己的演出的一个方式。在我大2、大3的时候，我一个周末可以赚很多钱，可是我觉得那个可观的收入带给我的是，我忘记了我是谁，变成每个周末逼自己一定要几点起床，去那个地方站到我想要的表演的位置，每天要表演多少场次，然后什么时候回家，日复一日。我明明就是想要来分享溜溜球的，可是后来变得有点像上班打卡。最大的转捩点是在我后来被邀请到一个马来西亚的溜溜球比赛当评审。评审结束之后，然后跟他们要去庆功宴的路上，然后经过一个十字路口，红绿灯，大家停下来，就看到身边这些不管是主办人也好，玩家也好，他们都在玩溜溜球，而我把溜溜球放在评审桌旁边的背包里。哇！我才意识到，他明明是我最好的伙伴，可是我在那个时刻却好像把它当作是一种赚钱的工具。当我从马来西亚回到台湾，我回到街头，我发现不用去计较我今天到底赚了多少钱，而是我今天准备了多少东西，花多少心思在我的作品里面。而那个精神，我觉得才是观众会停留下来的最主要的原因。对我影响最大的是我妈妈，她就是每天坐在那边写书法，然后她就教我们家里面3个小孩写书法，然后她说：“你看哦，这笔一落下、移动、提起，距离格子0.3公分。”我觉得那件事情影响我后来去做溜溜球表演这件事情。当你能够用这0.3公分的精神去要求自己，那个东西是能够感动人的。分享溜溜球，不用语言，因为其实我英文也没有很好，然后就用溜溜球跟全世界人交流，然后就这样去了20几个国家，不管在台湾表演还是在国外演出，当大家都看着溜球那一瞬间，我会有一种很神奇的感受，就是哇，我竟然可以到这么遥远的地方去分享我所爱的事情。当了那么久的街头艺人，或多或少都会感受到，其实公部门看待我们就像是一盘散沙。所以那个时候，跟我的朋友们，我们成立一个协会，叫台湾街头艺术文化发展协会。 做了一个专案，叫做街头作品实验室。我们开始找老师，然后开始办工作坊，来让街头艺人彼此讨论作品。刚开始办的时候当然是很辛苦，因为你要去说服大家来相信这件事情。可是当大家今天来了，然后看到他们在跟老师创作的过程当中，那个眼神是发光的，你会发现他们好像找到了一个更好的创作路径。而今天在街头，他们就不再只是娱乐观众，他们可以把他们的故事，把他们精神放到演出里面，然后感动更多的观众。我们
Taiwan's oldest panda couple are celebrating their 18th birthdays. Tuan and Yuan marked their big day with a special panda-themed cake from their caretakers. The pandas are one of the zoo's most popular attractions. The two bears were born in China in 2004 and were sent to Taipei as part of an exchange program 4 years later. They are the parents of Yuan Tsai and Yuan Bao, who was born just 2 years ago. Thank you for watching TaiwanPlus News. I'm Yin Khvat. Finally, we leave you with images of a Tunisian veterinarian turning her house into an animal shelter in northeastern Tunisia. They supply food and medicine for over 170 dogs and cats. For more stories from Taiwan and around the world, please download the TaiwanPlus app. Stay safe and see you next time.